are back with another Women's Disability Show. I'm your host for the day, Brianna Wheeler, and today's topic is going to be living with CP. So we have our lovely guests here today, which I'll let them introduce in a second. We're just going to get into living life with cerebral palsy, how that is for these ladies.
I'm Anna Montana. I am the owner and founder of a disability awareness program for TPA on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I am also an advocate leader for the University of Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Thank you so much, Anna. Okay, so getting into our first question, how does CP affect your body? So I know this is kind of a wide range question because CP can affect you in so many different ways, I'm sure. But Anna, how would you describe CP affecting your body?
So I have a provider cerebral palsy, which means that my whole body is affected, including my feet. As you may probably hear, I have a very tiny heat impairment, but other than that, like I said, I use a walker her time to help me get around, and sometimes even a wheelchair, depending on where I'm going and if I would have to walk a long way. I do have use one hand, otherwise I am impaired. You can probably tell a little bit between my two hands. My right side is the most impaired side with my CP. But I use a walker. I 100% understand what people are telling me. So while CP can be a intellectual disability for some, mine is only a physical disability, and I only require mobility help to help me do daily living activities, such as getting dressed, driving, making my meals, and any other personal hygiene need that I may have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I have a follow-up question for you. So has your mobility progress declined over the years since you were younger?
No, actually, I have gotten better with my mobility because I took it so as many of you can probably relate. When COVID hit, I had nothing to do. So I started working out like a mad woman. And I started doing my treadmill on a daily basis, and I'm also an adaptive horseback rider. And by doing those two things, it has really helped my mobility, which I am really grateful for. I haven't lost my ability to do anything yet, and I hope I never will. However, I don't know. You never know at your
Mm-hmm.
age.
Yes, of course. And that's for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
How was growing up for you with CP? And were you ever ashamed of your disability or were you prideful, empowered? How was that for you kind of growing
So in elementary school, I feel like you are like a normal person because you are intubated. At least for me, I was in a normal classroom and had a para, and I feel like people at a younger age don't really like see you as different. But as you get older into the high school age, that's when people really want to notice like where they want to be, who they want to hang out
up?
with, they don't want to hang out with. So all the way up to high school, I was fine, and then in high school, not only did my peers but my teacher kind of wanted to plot me in with the disabled students. And
Mm-hmm.
no matter what I said, they were like, no, I don't want to do that. They wanted me to do that, and no one would talk to me, or they would talk to me in school, but not talk to me out of school. It was like,
Mhm.
no matter if I text them or not, they did not respond. So that's kind of why I wanted my YouTube channel, because I was like, if nobody's gonna listen to the word coming out of my mouth, I'm gonna have to pick up my phone and video every little thing until I get my point across. And luckily for me, I did find 2 or 3 people who are uh who were and who still are to this day my ride or die. But it was really hard to find those people because I feel like when you're older, people are ashamed, uh, hanging around with a disabled person. And
Mhm.
I was not ashamed that I had my disability. I was disappointed in society that they were ashamed to see someone like me. I was like, well, I'm not ashamed of it, but obviously they are.
Okay, I love that attitude. Do you feel like your family had a big play in that?
Um, no, I'm figuring it out. Even though my family never once they said, "Oh, he's a disabled person," they always see me as a normal person. But I
Mhm.
also think that I built that immunity up for
Mhm.
myself. If that makes sense.
I love that. Okay, you said that you were kind of in with like the normal kids. When did you start like really hanging out with other people that had a disability? Have you ever? Do you have other friends with disabilities? Are you a part of the community? You said that you're a part of BBS.
Yeah. So I in high school I wasn't really involved with other people with disabilities. Even though I had practice with them, I really didn't hang out with them. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't really know what I was doing at
Mhm.
a whatever that was. So when I became 2020 during the pandemic, I was about to graduate high school, and I was like, I want to do YouTube and social media for a time. And then how I wanted to find the disability community on social media, and that's how I found about the Babe Society. And then I wanted being recognized by my disability advocate that I hire and to help me with various needs. And he said, "Why you have the power for an advocate? Why don't you get involved in your local community?" And I was like, "How the heck do I do that?" There are
Uh-huh.
actually people who are like me in my community, like, please tell me where they're at. I one of them. I mean, I had one in my middle school who was in a walker, but that's the only person I saw. So
Mhm.
I ended up going to a disability advocacy kind of loop, and the director of that loop, who is now my boss, said to me, he was, "Hey, we're looking for someone who understands disability, hypotransition. You're a really powerful advocate. Hey, do you want to come work for the university?" And I said, yeah, I do. So, so now that's where I really met people with disability, because
Okay.
I'm president of an advocacy society, so now I hang out with disabled people all the time. But I didn't for a year on end. I didn't know where to find them.
Yeah. That's a lot of people's story in the beginning, believe it or not. Yeah. Um, for you, Anna, which is what is the hardest and best part about having CP? If you have to say a couple of things, or you gotta just like summarize it or throw a couple of things inside of there, however you want to word it, it's fine.
The hardest thing about having disability would be having to plan everything out. I work and I work, and to be able to work depending on if I have in-person meetings or not, I have to have somebody take me because I can't drive, I can't know my back when I needed to. But like in today's day and age, we don't have enough direct support professionals to go around to everyone that needs it. So like, when I'm planning something, I don't want my mommy and daddy, going with me to my bedtime or not. So
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing is to find people that can actually support me, and then the moment sometimes where there is no one but mom and dad, and that makes me really frustrated, even though I miss them very much. The best part of having a disability is I like to say a lot of the opportunity that I have today I would not have unless I was disabled. So the best
1,000%. Yeah, I feel both of those things a lot. It's definitely hard having to feel like you could do something if you were just a little bit more able, and having to ask for those rides sometimes can be hard. And not only that, but sometimes when your plans get ruined and it's like, I could just do it myself if I really wanted to, but I can't. There's no way that I can do it. And that can be so frustrating sometimes as well. But you're right in the fact of like um the community and everything that you get to, all the people you get to teach and get to show what you can do, and being on this podcast even is all to be grateful for being in this community. I love being disabled because it has opened my eyes and my life to so many great opportunities, so many great people, and that's why I consider it one of my blessings. Okay, Anna, so what assisting devices or tools do you use to make your everyday life easier? That involves, getting ready or cooking or transportation, anything like that.
So I use my one, and then when it comes to being employed with a disability, I use my iPad to record every meeting that I'm on, and then I will focus on listening to what's happening in the meeting, and then go back and type what was said, like my notes and everything, because I'm trying to type and listen on at the same time. There is a 100% chance that I'm going to miss something. No matter what I try.
Mm-hmm.
So I use my iPad on that. I also wear an Apple Watch, which you might see right here, and that helps me. Like if I were to drop my phone on the floor and I needed to call for help, I can dial my mom or dad or whoever in the house, and they can come help me. I also use Amazon Alexa devices to turn on everything in my apartment, whether that be my mic or my tape or whatever it may be. And I also use Amazon Alexa. I have one by my bed, so if I were to turn over and drop to the floor at nighttime, if I sometimes fall off the bed by accident, I can have my Alexa device dial whoever. So those are some of my devices that I use.
I love that. So do you live in an apartment with somebody else or by yourself?
So my appointment is actually attached to my parents' house. It's kind of like a mother-in-law seat.
Okay. And how long did it take you to be comfortable with being by? I mean, I still consider that being by yourself, even though they're close by, you're still doing a lot of things by yourself. So how long did that take you to be comfortable with doing that?
So I have always been being alone in my area by myself, but never at nighttime. I have to be able to see out my window to know if I'm in danger or not. So there has to be someone in the house itself at all times if possible. But if not, like, I'm fine being in here by myself. I never had an issue with being in the room, but being in my apartment by myself as long as somebody around, in the house or around the proximity of where I live.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. And then we have a question from How I Roll. He says, "Does your CP keep you from having private time to be alone with your thoughts?" So,
Uh,
Brianna, if you want to answer that too, on your device, if you want to type in your answer, feel free. But he's just asking if it keeps you from having those private thoughts and that alone time with yourself. What do you
no.
think, Anna? No?
It definitely does not, because
No.
I wake up in the morning and I have a routine, and once I'm head up, no one has to come in and interrupt me unless I ask for some type of assistance. But I don't need somebody over me 24/7. I need somebody to be in the proximity of me in the other side of the house. So now I'm oftentimes alone in my area by myself and only ask for assistance when I need it. And I'm a very helpful person, so I don't mind people being around. So
Okay. Has that been your whole life?
yeah.
Okay.
So I meet you where I want to be, and right away.
I love that so much. So do you feel like, Anna, like at any time, did you struggle with your mental health? Like, did you struggle with that not being alone, or you've always been very outgoing and friendly for as long as you can remember?
Um, so I always have been outgoing, but my mental health has definitely been impacted. Especially when people don't answer me. Like, if I'm trying to be your friend and you talk to me, but say in a school building, like when I was in high school, and then when that bell rings, you disappear off the planet Earth. I'm like, and then I see them hanging out with somebody else on social media. That made me really mad. But now that I'm 22, I'm like, I don't really mind it. Do what you please. I have my own life, to live.
Yeah. It sucks going through those hard times, but I've always learned like when I'm feeling that way that it makes me stronger in the long run. If you didn't go through that, you wouldn't be as strong-minded and not caring what people thought about you. So
Right.
I think that that's really important. So Anna, what do you wish more people knew about CP?
I wish more people knew that not every EP, not every person with EP will automatically have an intellectual disability right along with it, because that is really annoying, because my for multiple reasons. One, it's gonna impact your ability to be considered for any type of employment. And two, like, people will doubt your ability to write your own path. Like, my high school advisor wanted me to retake my AET my 18,000 times to go to a university, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I
Mm-hmm.
have I have my own brand. Maybe one day I will. But like, and he was like almost telling me like not like directly. You don't know what you're talking about, but you can tell when people doubt your
Mhm.
intellectual disability. So I wish people didn't look at me and be like, "Oh, he's gonna walk through there. No doubt, there's no way he understands what I'm saying." Because like, there are sometimes where I'll be out and the person will talk to whoever I'm with, and that
Mhm.
drives me insane. I'm like, and I just butt in. I immediately start talking over that person.
Yeah, that's super empowering to do. Sometimes I find myself in such disbelief that I don't even respond, because they do it to me too. Sometimes I'll just talk to my boyfriend or just talk to my family member and ask them what I want, even at like a restaurant. Restaurants are super annoying too with it. For some reason, I do not know what those restaurant people think. They're just so frustrating with that. It's like, speak to me if I'm the one ordering and it's my food. And then if I wasn't able to respond back, then at that point, then my family member could take over. But I feel
Right.
like for them automatically to expect me not to understand is just so disrespectful. And I don't think that they even comprehend how disrespectful it is.
Definitely not.
Yeah.